So, gonna restart this. Hi, I'm James Howell. Welcome to the Deltahead stream 2/27/2021, and tonight we're gonna do part 4 of Soul Reaver 2. I know, right? Classic Windows. OS as a service. Let's see here. I received a game in the mail today, an older game that I fired up the Commodore 64, and that was actually one of the things that came to mind because Windows gave me the announcement that it wanted to update, and I fired up the Commodore 64 DOS Basic, and I mean it's like that's never changing. There's like no way to update that, and it's there was no way to update it since launch, at least to my knowledge. Maybe some hard modifications, but anyway, yeah, it's just. Things as services is a very different way of doing software than package and ship and sell on retail shelves way of doing things. But to that end, this is what that is, and unfortunately I haven't got it quite working as I would like. It is this fella right here. It is a microcomputer games data set, I should say, of Telengard, which is a kind of regarded as a Silver Age computer RPG. And if you can see here, this one contains 4 different versions on one cassette. See if I can zip that up there. For an Atari, for TRS-80, a Telengard, yes, as a matter of fact, that is my subsistence MGO handle. And for something else, what's that 4th one down there? PET 2001, yep. So yeah, so the way this works is you put the cassette in there. There are different headers, software headers, kind of in the same way that like a packet that, or something that you're sending by network has a packet header that says this is where this program begins. So when you reassemble it after transmitting over the network, it knows what order to set things in, and it also knows where the beginning of the program is. This has that, except in 4 different OS sort of languages, so that it knows how to read it on each one. And if you throw this in there and try to load up the Part 1 of Side 1, which is the Atari 800 Basic, and you try to throw that into the Commodore 64, it just screws it all up. It cannot run it. But if you throw it in there Side 2, then it has something to hook onto, and it can start reading it. Unfortunately, something either about my dataset reader or this is corrupted. Yeah, this is Deltahead lore. I loved this game when I was a kid, and I do hope to get this running on the original software. This was actually the game that was attached to my favorite piece of game packaging when I was a youngin', which is the Telengard instruction book, which has this fantastic D&D Evening Dream Bomb. Also, thank you, Hobgoblin, for the subscription. I just saw that pop up there, and do not want that to go unacknowledged. Thank you so much. But yeah, this is the nice D&D image right there of a hero ready to meet his doom, as assuredly will happen when you meet a dragon. Although meeting a dragon doesn't actually mean that you are definitely going to die. You can it allows a little more roleplay in that. Let's see. You can I think you can bribe them. You can bribe them to get them to go away. You can talk with them. Let's see. Probably the best thing about this, which has a very early monster manual graphics, is the bestiary, which is like the bestiary for me. If you can see that there. Kind of put this guy up here. That's a gnoll. Close relative. No, that's a kobold, excuse me. Close relative of the gnoll. Fond of something. What does he, hamstring you and slit your throat? I think that's what I'm reading. Yeah. Anyway, it's got really great. It's got this kind of howdy neighbor, mummy right there. Bandage wrapped monster fresh from the crypt, and so it's got a large variety of monsters in it. You can kind of tell the artist had a few poses that he kind of liked because they show up here in the art a few times, but. Yeah, this right here, this detail screwed with my sense of Greek mythology for a long time. The description of the Minotaur. Let's put you right there. The ugly result of crossbreeding between an ogre and a large bull. Their breath alone can kill small dogs and feeble adventurers. And so every time I would read the Minotaur story in any kind, whether it's Edith Hamilton or any like any kind of like mythological compilation, I would always wait for the dog part because it's like its breath can kill small dogs. That's such an oddly specific detail. It must have some sort of hook in prior literature, but it doesn't. They just invented it. The monsters. And yeah, so that's a lot of fun. And yeah, it also, I mean, it's very Tolkien-y in some spots where you got the demon that's very clearly a Balrog with its whip and sword. And yeah, so anyway, it's a one of the. It might well be a text RPG for the way that the commands work and the inputs, and for all the good that the graphical representations do you strategically. It does have a little bit of a maze aspect, so that's helpful visually. But yeah, I'm hoping to get this running, and that would be a fun thing to stream sometime. I might have to hotwire it because the cassette does not seem to be working, and maybe I can find a dataset dump online and then convert that into audio and then record that on cassette, because that has worked in the past as well. And that will add quite happily to this little archive that I have going, which is a cassette recording of C64 games on CRT output. And there are a few threads on Twitter going around right now about the difference between what older games look like on CRT and what they look like in emulation. And the emulation brings out the pixeliness, the blockiness, and it raises a really interesting question of what authenticity is with retro aesthetic, because a lot of things that claim retro aesthetic have blocky pixelated things, but then when you take those blocky pixelated graphics from the original games that are inspiring the retro aesthetic and you put it on CRT, it rounds things out, it gives them a different kind of sheen, and it's very clear that those graphics were made for a very particular kind of technological output, which does not actually look like some of the details that are on the retro aestheticized kind of art. So that's very interesting to me. But yeah, and as a last note, Donegal Fairy Stories continue to go well. I am at the, penultimate story, The Bee, the Harp, the Mouse, and the Bum Clock. And I don't know what a bum clock is, but I'm sure I'm going to find out. So, at that point, that gets us good to go on Evening Arc. It gets us good to go on, also, good evening, Swimmy, Dustin, Bismuth, I'm pretty sure I said hi to Grayling. Anyway, sorry, I got to talking. I didn't say hi to people. So, anyway. No, I did not get to play with the Resident Evil 4 stuff. I haven't jumped back into the Wii is still hooked up in the other room. But I'm going to, because that sounds really cool. For context on that, Swimmy directed me to a glitch at the jet ski where if you equip the Striker shotgun and you raise it, but if you go to your menu in between the time that Leon starts to raise it and the laser target appears on the screen, and then you switch to another weapon, then that apparently opens up a whole Pandora's box of glitchiness. And on the jet ski, it actually led Leon to kind of zip on ahead about 3 seconds ahead of Ashley. Oh yeah, the Dittman glitch. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever heard about it. It's fantastic. This is exactly the kind of thing that I love in terms of, when you got a game that's been around this long and people have just unearthed more and more arcane things. And this is right on that level of being arcane and interesting on a what the hell level, as opposed to some of the more arcane Ocarina of Time stuff that shows up in speedruns, which is arcane and increasing and appeals to an increasingly small number of people because of how technical it is. And so this rides that line perfectly for me. Yes, the Dittman's glitch. Oh wow, a minecart skip. That's fantastic. But yeah, no, I will play with that more and let you know what the outcome of that is, and maybe even record some of it and throw it up on Twitter in little bits as I am able to. Also, thank you, Dreambomb, for the resubscription. I very much appreciate that. So give me 1 second here. Let me click over. We're actually in very good... Oh shoot, I didn't bring the iPad in here. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab that thing. Okay. This was a neat shirt right here. I used to run stage crew for a theater, an opera company, and they had a Russian-American kind of joint concert. It was an orchestra that was traveling around the States, and it was a joint Russian-American cast performance. I don't know what the word for I don't know what the word that means cast in an orchestral context is, though I probably should. But that's what I mean. And they were kind enough to give me a nice shirt for setting up their their stage. So I now have chat up. Anything that was said in between the time that I left and came back is lost to me. I apologize. But yeah, here we go. Oh wait, this is still plugged into the Japanese PS2. Let's get you unraveled over here. I've got to say I am very, very pleased at how much Japanese and US hardware shares basic peripherals, memory cards, and controllers, etc. Even if the only thing difference is the header on the disc that says this is bootable. Oh, nice! Congratulations. That is a reckonable task. Are you? Did you get the? Wait, which? Sorry, let me back up. Are you playing it on PS4? You say trophies, so I assume that that's the case. Okay. Also, because of the aforementioned Windows Update and driver chicanery, if you have any problems with the game audio, please let me know. And if there's like a difference in balance, I'll fix that. Excellent, thank you. Oh, that's fantastic. So, is there a trophy for completing mercenaries? And have you gotten that? Oh, that's neat. I only just now noticed that the save point is like a combination of the Soul Reaver's squiggly green tentacle from Maniac Mansion looking design, and on the left and right look like a couple of fangs. Which is kind of covers both the Raziel and the Kain front, doesn't it? No platinum? That is strange. That is a noble task. I'm actually curious, how many more of those do you have to go through before you check off all the boxes? Raziel's got some enemy tracking weirdness there. Aw. Oh, neat. This is a reflective surface. Reflective surfaces on PS2 games are always very interesting to me, because as we see in things like Metal Gear Solid 2... Did I kill it? Looks like I did. As we see on things like Metal Gear Solid 2, it often just involves duplicating the character model on the other side of a plane that cannot be crossed. So, it looks like... I'm guessing they just duplicate all of this down that way. Let's see. Because these spires here have reflections. And if you turn it around here, it doesn't look like anything over here does. So that's neat. Those are some of my favorites. So congratulations. All right, so we have the Wind Reaver. I am going to blow up that what is it? This sort of wall that has Mobius's insignia on it, and I'm going to use the Wind Reaver to do that. I don't know if it's the first game to do that. I think that, I believe the PS2 Shinobi did that as well. Also, good evening, Moogle. It's good to meet you. Okay, right. This should be taking me back. Wow, the Reaver powers up much more quickly here. It also appears that the Reaver is taking a bit longer to get to the point where it's consuming my health. It'd probably be. I wonder if that is connected to the amount of health that I have. Yeah, using the Reaver on humans, it has a different feeling than using the Reaver on demons. Perhaps because you can pretty effectively kill humans with weapons that are not the Reaver, but just on the demons it feels like an absolute necessity. So you have to really lean into that cursed weapon business. Oh, thank you. Yeah, on stream I did some Snake Tales, I think. And I have I have more than my share of Metal Gear related content poke elsewhere. So thank you, that's good to know. Say bold of a gunner to just use his weapon as a blunt instrument rather than try to get that point-blank range shotgun damage. See, Code Veronica is a favorite. I think it was unduly marred by people becoming a little tired of the old Resident Evil formula around the time that it came out. Yeah? This way? Nope. But yeah, it's got good atmosphere, and I enjoy it quite heartily. Revelations 1 and 2 are also a lot of fun. Revelations 1 is still fun on systems other than the 3DS, but you kind of get a sense for kind of how much sense it makes as a 3DS game. Oh yeah. That's that would be me. That would be the Big Boss rank and walkthrough. If you like that, there is another thing that I've done on Metal Gear Solid 2. It's an essay that I wrote. Oh, this way. Many years ago, called "Driving Off the Map," and I can point you that way in just a second here. Whoop! Did I? Is this okay? Cool. Oh, thank you, Ark. Yeah, if you like the Big Boss rank walkthrough, you'll probably enjoy that as well. Code Veronica is one of those games where my sense of judgment on it is compromised in the same way where, you know, did I like this movie because it was really good, or did I like it because I was young when I saw it? I have very good memories of playing Code Veronica and being scared out of my wits over at a friend's house on the Dreamcast when we were still very enthused about the Dreamcast. And so there's a lot of love of Code Veronica built into that memory, and also love of Dreamcast. So there are some personal biases that come out in that. Oh man, like everybody's confused. Everybody's waiting to save their game, like being lined up at a porta-john at a baseball game. You guys get up here? It's a good place to check chat. Cool, it is a good place to check chat. Yeah, with the Foxhound Rank walkthrough, if you want to look at some of the more playground elements of Metal Gear can factor into a functional playthrough rather than just being kind of screwing around, that's a good place to go and check and see that. It's one of the reasons why Metal Gear Solid 3 is gameplay-wise my favorite out of the series, because hijinks and shenanigans, especially when they can be turned into a functional strategy, are absolutely, as the kids say, my jam. Oh yes, no, that statement remains true. I will never be able to do that button mashing sequence again. Yeah, I think the one thing that MGS4 could have used a little bit more of was nonsense. Which is funny because it really had plenty. There's just something extra nonsensical that is not there. Yeah, well, you know, it happens. It's an injury that developed independent of video games, but that playing video games does very little to alleviate. Oh, weird. They kind of back off. What are those things? I keep thinking, as you would expect in any kind of corrupted future, that the monsters that appear big and heavy now would be mutated versions of things that I've encountered in the past. But I also can't seem to recall what enemies those would be. But I am very sure. Ah, I love that. I love that loping walk and how it stops to stand on its large arm. Let's see if I can get a look at that here. Well, maybe with the other one. Yeah, there we go. Reminds me of my cat trying to sneak up on me, stopping every 5 steps. Evening, Space Hamlet. Oh man, I tell you what, I loved playing as the Mark II in Metal Gear Online. Alright, let's see, this can heal me up. Okay, cool. Oh, maybe those things are demons, because I've noticed that demons, when they die, have the little skull with a sort of chain-link spine ethereally following after it, whereas humans and dogs have this sort of soft white light for their souls. Oh yeah, yeah, the big boss mask. It was the mask that looks like Solidus is as the Pix bio key, where it's just this sort of like flayed human face, monstrously. All right, here we go. All right. Evening, Viper. Good to see you. You know, you're right. I'm actually surprised that MGS4 has not made it off of the PS3 in any meaningful sense. Ah, I bet this turns into a staircase in the other world, but I don't really want to find out. yeah, Raziel's a cool weirdo. I assume you mean Raziel. Which, if you don't, and there's another cool weirdo, I'm open to that possibility. Oh, I bet I need to. Oh, I am going to get back up here. Probably need to swirl around in a circle a little bit, get some height, and then go across. Yep. Woo! Yeah, there we go. Good stuff. It's kind of nifty. Music almost gave me a moment of feeling like Soul Reaver 1. Alright, we're gonna go back in time? Better go back in time.
I had no choice but to act purely on blind faith. There was no way to tell what error this device was tuned to, and I had neither the knowledge nor the means to set the machine myself. I hesitated only briefly. Then, throwing the switch, I hurled myself into oblivion and relinquished my will to the hand of fate.
I don't know, does accepting the whims of an unknown destination really qualify as throwing yourself into the hands of fate? Not to be pedantic, but I think that if you have a choice whether or not to do that, that just kind of makes it your choice. Less fate there. But Raziel's the only one with free will, so he's the boss on that front. I'm not gonna counter that. Xenosaga was a lot of fun. I played through Xenosaga 1? I also played through Xenosaga 2 and really enjoyed the final boss fight on that, I remember. And then Xenosaga 3 came out, and apparently there was a ton of lore in some sort of intermediary format that required a whole bunch of reading to catch up on. Also, there was a pretty big time debt between the release of 2 and 3 that I kind of lost the thread and never went back to that. And now my threshold for JRPG-ness has unfortunately gotten very low. So I am nonetheless grateful to have had the time that I did with it. Okay. So what era are we in now? Snow era.
Beyond all hope and against all probability, it seemed that the device had unerringly delivered me to the era I sought. For these were Sarafan banners, and these vampires apparently the victims of their crusade. The coincidence seemed too convenient to naively ascribe to fate. But whether my opportune arrival had been orchestrated by Mobius or some other influence, I didn't know. If Janos Ordrin still lived, I would find him. But I was wary of further deception and resolved to tread carefully.
So if these are Sarafan banners, then that means that Raziel has a likelihood of encountering possibly himself as a Sarafan leader, since that was That was his state that Kain desired to profane by making him into one of his vampiric lieutenants. I do remember that. Yes, I do remember the infamously long Xenosaga cutscenes, as a matter of fact. I forgot about that, though. I'm gonna keep the Wind Reaver for now. I remember when I played Xenosaga, I was wondering if it was going to be very Xenogearsy, and I could see Xenogears elements in it, but it was ultimately, at the end of the day, its own thing. What? I should be able to go right here. Yeah, there we go. And Janosaldrin should live around here. At least, wait, no, I came across Vorador. Well, this one is, this is going back to the past, so this is before, in terms of the chronological history of Nosgoth, if this is where Raziel is right now, this is the past, this is kind of the middling point where Raziel made his fate-defying choice. The future is the one where we saw corrupted by demons, and now we've gone back to the past, technically before Raziel made his fate-defying choice, but chronologically, insofar as defying fate should affect the past as well as the future, don't know. That's the challenge with time travel stories. It matters less if they make sense and more if they're doing something interesting. Yeah, Dreambomb, I found that the instruction manuals do a pretty good job of summarizing the previous game's events. I was looking through the instruction manual for Defiance, which is the sequel to this, and I stopped myself from reading all the way through the events of this game because I still want to be surprised with the rediscovery. But found that the summary was actually pretty lucid and easier to follow than trying to recall things and then put them in order. Though, of course, for fans, that is the great pleasure. Oh, well, okay. Saving a new file. Yeah, Moogle, these are lovely games for the world that they create and the characters that populate them, and the characters are really where I think the game shines the most. They're well written. I find them likable and interesting, and the allegiances and the alliances that shift.
For all the butchery of Mobius's crusade, this massacre was somehow more chilling. The killing fields of the Sarafan betrayed a kind of orderly ruthlessness, the cold-blooded righteousness of the true believer.
Oh, buddy. Given that assessment, I have a feeling that Raziel is in for a very rude discovery about his past self. Alright, so I have the Wind Reaver. I think it is nice and appropriate that at discovering this calculating coldness, he has entered into a winter season. So it is chilling all the way around. Yeah, and I don't know if the designers in this were just it just happened to be in tune with the same sort of dark fantasy aesthetic that that informs Dark Souls and a lot of the other From games, but they both clearly take a lot from the from a shared history of sort of Gothic D&D. Gothic D&D traditions that manage to mesh well and weirdly with natural edifices and landscapes and things like that. Makes you feel like you're treading in the footsteps of giants. And I kind of feel like I should be going up there, but I don't see an easy way up there. And actually, yeah, while sort of breaking down or thinking about the appeal, there we go. The appeal of the games. This atmosphere, which we do see that people like very much from, holds, is that L1? Oh, I'm holding R1. You know what, I'm just going to do this because that seems to be working. Yeah, it should not be discounted how much the atmosphere in these games contributes to the to what's valuable about them. I can absolutely see the Dark Soulsiness.
By all that is holy!
Here at last, in the flesh, I beheld my former brothers in arms, the warrior priests of the Sarafan Order. Their lives devoted solely to the annihilation of the vampire plague. And while I confess, I felt a twinge of longing, a pang of grief for what I had believed was my lost virtue, I regarded them now with none of the reverence I formerly felt. For I had seen the human face of the vampires, and now I beheld the monstrousness of these men.
Oh, yeah. This is great. There's actually a sort of an uncanny, incidental overlap because, you know, this one is very much about being an undead, a chosen undead at that. So there's that overlap too. No, Raziel, why? Why? You've got the thing that kills them in one hit. Don't pick that up. There we go. Now I really need to heal up. I gotta say, that is a quality PS2 cauldron. I really like the dark shadowing, like the really harsh dark shadowing on the sides away from the light. Almost has a kind of a Suda No More Heroes Killer 7 vibe to it aesthetically, which pleases me. Yes, my Dreamcast meter is running dangerously low. It is, and I guess it would not be inappropriate to say that the Soul Reaper is thinking. Sentient parasite, etc. So, I don't know if I call the Dreamcast a parasite. Oh, hi! Is there any way I can kind of call just one of you over? Oh yeah, if you go into the either the the Twitch VODs, or if you there's a YouTube channel where I archive all these stuff. The channel is for Deltahead Media. That's the name of the channel. Oh, whoops. Then you'll find those there as well. Along with a fun trip down memory lane on several of the blanking out VMU memory cards. Well, you know what? I'm up here. Maybe my respawn point is up here too. Oh man, this is fantastic! All of these non-human souls floating around the impaled vampires. There is almost there's a sort of a Vlad the Impaler vibe that this gives off. Is this my? Oh no, I can't get back that way. Oh, there we go.
Take the beast down.
Oh wow, they have magic casters.
Free your soul, demon.
Soul Reaver's getting pretty powerful mid-late game. Okay, well now that I see that you guys can cast like magic missile, I'm starting to rethink my my boast about guns. I think you guys have that pretty well covered. No, fortunately, I found something that was actually useful, pretty nearby. Grab the sword.
Free your soul,
Stop blocking! Stop doing your job. Oh, he can move cancel his own stuff with a block. Alright, you know what? These guys are about as bad as demons. Oh! I managed to kill him when I threw away the weapon. Nice. You know, you've got you've got a point. Crystal Dynamics calling their shots back in 2000. What was this? 2003? 2002? I think 2002 might have been the original Soul Reaver. Ustenheim. If only my German were not failing me.
over there. Free your soul,
These guys track you for a longer period of time when they wind up. So you can't just like dodge early and then hope to reap the rewards for that that decision. Oh, halberders, stay away. I've got things to do. I know, it feels like a million years ago, doesn't it? I gotta say, these save points preserve remarkably well through the eons. Barely a chip on them. No, you first. Is this... This is a light... I mean, why not? Yeah, I know, right, Grayling? I just... Gray Fox was right. Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon. But what if you trust your own life to it? It's, actually, given Gray Fox's life status at the end of that game, he might also ask that equally as well, being a revenant himself. Oh, right! I'm going back to the place that was sunken, that was underwater previously. Dynasty Warriors 2 was a game that was often recommended to me, but I never jumped in on. Is this my way forward? Yes, I think it is. As I get pelted in the back of the head. Something that I'm appreciating about the Reaver in this context. So with the demons, they're really strong and have high HP, and they can tank through most of my hits with other weapons. These guys block a lot, and the Reaver appears to be unblockable, and so it is again proving itself to be the weapon of choice against these new enemies. Oh yeah, the Bouncer. I remember the Bouncer was that was touted as a big release title for the system. If I'm remembering right. Okay. Yeah, this should get me where I need to go. Oh, I'm hanging on by a shred. Yes. You guys want to see a trick? Ah. The trick is now watch me backtrack. That's the trick. They are. They're like Space Invaders. They're firing at where I'm going to be rather than where I am, which is devastatingly effective. Is my respawn point up here? Yes, it is. Ustenheim. Well, yep, that's where I would be. Even though the map doesn't wind up being terribly practical in terms of strategizing, I do think it is a very nice touch. Don't grab that there. There we go. I do think it is a very nice touch to make this place feel... Wow, Raziel has blood? Like a space rather than just a bunch of corridors. Kind of running into button mapping problems similar to one that I run into with many of the later Metal Gears, which is that attack is also mapped to some other action. So when I get into a context that puts me close to something that it thinks I want to interact with, but I actually don't, I wind up doing the interaction. Alright.
After my long journey, I finally stood on the threshold of enlightenment. For here was Janos Audrin's mountain retreat, intact and unblemished. The upheaval that would one day topple this ancient edifice had not yet occurred. And while I had no certainty that Janos still lived, this scene boded well, for I presumed that the collapse of the retreat must have followed the ancient vampire's demise. There was only one obstacle: how to reach the balcony suspended at that maddening height, so far beyond my reach. For this was the architecture of winged creatures. The tattered ruins of my wings were of no use. I would need to devise some other means into that mountain.
Okay, so my takeaway from that is got to get up there, but clever. And I'm wondering if using the spirit realm is my key to doing that. Is this water or is this ground? Looks like ground. Yes, it is ice. And there is dark elemental.
Return to hell.
Okay. Gobble 'em up. Oh, I need the wind elemental to activate that. Ah, that's really important.
There's one.
So where can I find myself one of those? Well, at the very least, this puts me ahead of getting back to good health. Alright, so there is the light elemental. What, if anything, is up here? Can I get up there? Cannot. I kind of remember that that my way forward the last time was over here. So maybe that's where I should go now. I think I kind of remember for the most part that it's throwing and grabbing. It does have a little bit of nuance in the amount of stamina that your melee attacks do, depending on the weapons you have equipped. But that's about all that I remember. Okay, can I jump up? I cannot jump up. I wonder if there is... So the ice seems to be a unique feature of this level, and it obviously wants to call my attention to the fact that I can be both under and above it by putting my respawn point underneath. So I'm gonna guess there's something underneath here, that or a way I can travel that will get me somewhere new. Is this a dead end? This is a dead end. Anything over here? Nope. This is, has all the marks of being what I've come to think of as a very Soul Reaver moment, where I am absolutely lost and befuddled by how to progress, and the answer is, if not immediately in front of me, then 2 steps away from where I'm looking. And the work of pixel hunting is not, in fact, the way to proceed, but after running out of enough intuitive options, that is what I default to. So I'm starting to think that the problem might be less with the game and more with that habit. Maybe something to change. But I'm just going to check finish checking the periphery here. Which I actually think that I've just done. I didn't really set a marker for where I started, but there we go. So perhaps I do need to be in the other world to move forward. Seems like I could jump over here, and then jump over there. Alternatively, I could backtrack very, very far and then try to survive my way over here to access a wind font, but I don't think that's the smart thing to do. Can I climb this? Not. Okay, that's where I gotta get. Over there is a wind thing I need to activate. Alright. So, let's see what changes. This platform elevates, that's one thing. But I think that's about it. Is that where he jumped down from? I seem to remember this is where I oversaw the fighting between some demons and humans and just kept eating the souls of everything that died. It's,
Guard me, brother.
no! There we go. Good. Alright, let's see what is up here. Got a Wind Reaver for me? You do not. But this actually might be the only way that I can progress backward to try to get to one. That seems like something I should have done differently. Okay. Glide our way... Oh, there's a climbable wall here. That's good. What were the retcons on... what were the retcons on the Cobra unit in MGS5? Do I have to... pull this somewhere else? Yeah, there we go. Death Stranding is a good time. I think if you're enjoying it so far, you will continue to enjoy it. Ah, I love those footsteps. Oh!
Get him.
That's sounding familiar. Okay. If I can find myself a Wind Reaver font here, that's gonna be a pretty short hike back. This kind of neat. If this is so far back in the past that these are that this is an actual habitation, that means there are people hiding out in these buildings. Which, as long as we're on the Soul Reaver from games comparison kick, gives us a very kind of a Bloodborne environment. Oh man, Shadow of Destiny. I long for a game that I adore as much as I adored Shadow of Destiny. Wait, where did Sorcerer go? Come back. Oh, there she is. Or sorceress, rather. Bloodborne is much more in my wheelhouse as well. It's God hand of Souls games. Oh, I really like that pulled back camera. That's not a perspective you see very often in this game. I have a feeling that by going this far back, I am in fact trying to brute force a solution on that puzzle. Which means I might be taking kind of the Dullard's way out, but not against it. Let's see, where is the, is there a wind thing somewhere around here? There should be, because this was a puzzle I had to solve with one. On the other hand, I am also stuck at another puzzle that requires that very same thing, and have no such resource. Oh, for anybody who is a God Hand fan, Fangamer recently got, there we go. Fangamer recently got a restock of some of the very little official God Hand merch, which in this case would be a t-shirt that has the US cover on the front and a kick me sign on the back. And yeah, that's neat, and it's there. And mine should be arriving in the mail sometime in the next week. Okay, so trick is to get all the way over there with this Reaver, activate the wind thing, and I have seen the wind mechanisms remain activated even when I go into the spectral realm. So even if I die at that puzzle, that solution piece should still be activated. Here we go. Oh. It is it's something that I am a little surprised by design-wise, with going into the past, having these much harder human enemies, especially in a bunch, that these are a step up in challenge from the demons in the past. But one of the things that the demons in the past had that made them uniquely difficult was they could throw up barriers to prevent your progress. So you had to you basically had to fight them in order to proceed. And these guys don't do that. I can just do the Soulsborne speedrun trick of just running through everything. Yes, I saw that too. Like, wow, you guys are kind of selling their magic short. Oh, stop it! I am busy, sir. Alright. I'm going to save with my Wind Reaver intact and my health at probably 7/8 full. And that way, if I screw this up, I'll just load this up. That does let me keep my Reaver, right? Okay, good. Oh! One person on the save square at a time, or at least knock. Jeez. Nobody poke me. This lever pull requires a great deal of concentration. Oh, this is where I'm going? Yes, this should be where I'm going. Alright. It's going well. So close. Oh, man. Looking at how gravity-bound these guys are really gives you a sense of exactly the kinds of feats that Raziel is capable of as a standard platforming video game character in this world. That being able to jump at least, what is it, but like 1, 2, but like 4 times his height is pretty dang impressive.
We will rid Nosgoth of your kind.
Let's see, it should be here.
Return to hell. Free your soul, demon.
No! Raziel! Raziel, target! Oh no! Target, my friend! Oh my god. There, thank god. So close. So close to failing.
Free your soul, demon.
Soul's fine. Mind your own business. Okay. Seems like I needed that to get up here to access the Dark Tincture. So here's hoping I don't still need it.
That's you.
So what does this grant me access to? It grants me access to that, which is new. Do I need to fire this at anything? I too enjoy snow and ice. Find it makes for a very good melancholic environment. I think probably one of my favorite snow and ice. It's actually one of the reasons why Skyrim is very interesting to me, because it takes what is typically a gimmick environment and makes it the environment. Activated the stuff. One of my favorite snow level gimmicks is from Mother 3, when they I think this is when you're leaving the snow environment, as a matter of fact. And they get into a refrigerator and ride it down out of the level, and they play the magical transportation. You are having a child, you know, like a childhood memory moment of wonder. They play that music, which the previous games used for things like airplane rides and the like. And this is literally getting into an ice box and throwing yourself down a hill. So it's good comedy. And they also, I don't know, I actually think that probably anticipated the similar gimmick in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull by several years. Yes, Space Hamlet. That's exactly it. Someone's treacherous machinations. Okay, so what have I learned from the last times that this happened? There was something in the environment that was interactable that I underestimated and overlooked. So that's a headspace to go to. Was there a snow area in Metroid Prime? Actually, yeah, okay, yeah, I kind of remember that now. That was a long time ago. Oh yeah, the snow in Last of Us 2 was excellent. I agree. Alright. Are any walls climbable that I am underselling? Is this something I should be paying attention to? Is this something I can even reach? It is something I can reach. What is up here?
Over there.
Oh my god, there's the wind font! High five my sword. Okay, so that's the wind font. So they did include it. It's just this is only accessible from that angle. So yeah, first step of the puzzle is to get to the dark tinctured font. Did somebody fall down there? Are you on the ground now, buddy? You are on the ground now. He lost his station. I'm not giving you the satisfaction. Yeah, we've this water has come up as a topic more than a few times in this stream, actually. So it's funny that you bring that up. Oh wait. Wait. Do I see what looks like a hint here? That's it! Okay, yep, I was right. It was an environmental clue that I kept moving past. Whoop. Cool. See, now I feel like I'm not being beaten by the game, but am, but in fact, keeping pace with it. Okay, there we go. Classic vampire, you know, secret entrance to the nether realm. Bowl of blood? Can I step in it rudely? Seems I cannot. Oh! Okay. Yep. No. I need to go into the spectral realm to get in here in the first place, so clearly the dark tinctured font that is out there is of no help to me. So there must be one in here. Seems unlikely that any humans would be in here. So, hopefully this is just me puzzling it out. Ah, I love that snow crunching sound effect. That was one of my favorite things about Last of Us 2, is, can I? In the winter levels is the snow crunching sound effect. feel a great deal of satisfaction when I hear that. It's actually on nights when it snows, if I'm able to catch it before I go to bed. If it's laid down enough thickness outside, even if it's only for 5 minutes, I will go outside. I'll put on my my thicker boots, go outside, and be the first to walk around in it. In a very specific patch, not unique to the location, but just because I don't want to ruin it for other people who enjoy the same thing. To walk around a very small area and enjoy the crunch, crunch, crunch of all that snow just compacting and, you know, crunching all the air out of it. It's a very, very good, satisfying feeling. And try not to use the entire parking lot for that, because I want to, you know, let somebody else have the same pleasure. Can I mean, it's not darkness, but it is a poke. I definitely close my eye when it's poked. Yes. Yes, the beach part, I remember that. And yes, the water was very good. I mean, that's actually really interesting, because at that point in the game, I actually wasn't paying attention to the visuals so much as I was kind of processing the experience. Some kind of weird jank zodiac. Now, Colorado, I imagine, is an excellent place to enjoy that. Okay, probably what I need to do is I need to get that cup there, and I need to fill it with blood from the basin down below. And in order to do that, I have to blind the eye. In order to blind the eye, I need Shadow Tincture. In order to get Shadow Tincture, I need to go back outside. And I have this Wind Reaver, so I can probably break down that wall like I did to the Mobius wall. And maybe that will give me a direct access to the outside that I can then return through without having to go through the Netherworld underground. And that'll get me everything I need. Yes! That is, in fact, how the game is played. Where are we? Yes. Oh, you guys are back already.
Free yourself, demon. Return.
Raziel, lock on, dude. I'm doing all I can. There we go.
That's him.
Well, later. Okay, this is my way back. Yes. Yeah, with The Last of Us 2, I remember for the 2 days prior to my actually beating it, I was playing it at like 11 p.m. and I was like, okay, you know what? This is clear. This is giving me game is almost over signs. So I'm gonna stay up another couple hours, push past my bedtime. That'll be fine, because I'm gonna enjoy that sweet I love a game so much I stayed up late playing it experience. And then like 1 a.m. hits, then 2 a.m. hits, and I'm like, okay, I kind of can't really justify the nostalgic shirking of responsibility anymore. And then 2:30 a.m. hits, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed. That happened for like 2 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row. At which point I was like, okay, clearly this game has something else in mind besides my reasonable bedtime. So, yeah, I had that experience twice. Dunk. Oh, yeah, love me a good rune. Blood Bridge. This place has everything. Yeah, that's got to be nostalgic for Raziel, right? Yeah, it does the screen goes black thing, and it also does the emotional cadence thing. Which, then, well, just in case anybody still hasn't played it, and in case anybody managed to miss all the spoilers of it on the internet, I won't go into the details of it. But, yes, it gives you emotional cadences and then surprises you.
The mountain's interior was hollow, I discovered, and graced with soaring architecture unique to its creators. As with the outer facade, these balconies and galleries could only be reached by those gifted with flight. With only my ruined wings to carry me, this towering labyrinth seemed impassable, while the object of my quest lay just beyond my grasp. For here, suspended at the apex of the chamber, was the threshold that surely led to the great vampire himself. I didn't know whether Janos Ordran was the monster depicted in the stronghold, or one of the noble creatures memorialized among the ruins of the ancient vampires. But I didn't care. Demon or angel, he alone held the key to my destiny.
Awesome. I love hearing Raziel's thoughts. This game has spoiled me on it, so going back to Soul Reaver 1, where you hear less of them in passing, is a little bit different. Oh, yeah. Hey, Squirmbox. Oh, yeah, that's right. What could you possibly have expected? Yeah. This little one spent some good time last night in kitty jail. Oh, because of so much ruination. And actually, on that note, give me just 1 second. I'm gonna refresh my water, and I'll be right back. Oh. times. Good times coming, good times inbound. Good times here. I think I discussed this on a stream with Mexican Sting sometime a few months ago, but there is a spectrum of advocate that on one end has mascot and on the other end has patron saint, and it is entirely unclear where on that ruler this guy falls. But you know what? In fact, he might just be big enough to cover the whole thing. What are you looking at? What you looking at? You got an adoring audience right there. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a big guy. Getting bigger every day, too. Despite himself. And he's fine like this. Any kind of squirming like this. He likes to hold his paws up like that. That's his barrister pose. He's a good guy. Evening, Iceman Dan. It's good to see you. Oh, well, and thank you for, that's the thing about pausing the game. The great thing is, in my absence, it leaves a surprise for anybody who wants to see to see things go to pot live. But, and it gives me a surprise to come back to. How can I repair the damage that I could easily have averted? Well, that's the stuff that makes a good story. Alright, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, yeah. By skinny fellow to cosplay him accurately, I don't know if you mean Raziel, who is a wasted skeleton of a man, or if you mean this guy right here, in which case the skinny fellow would be inside a fairly giant fluff suit. But in either case, I don't disagree. Oh man, we got the full squad. No idea how she's going to behave, but let's see how that goes. Which is, she is... Oh, wait, I actually forgot my water. Hold on a second, let me... No. Makes one a wraith. I think it's back from the dead. I also think it's kind of an attitude thing. Although, actually, you should mention that because I'm pretty sure. What do we have here? Yeah, here we go. Actually, it is attitude. So here, I can center that. The undead spirit of a dead warrior out for revenge. Wraiths have been known to take away experience points, draining a character's level. And there you can see him doing exactly that. So, yeah, it's more of an attitude thing, I think. Start out as Revenant, end up as Wraith, kind of fake it till you make it kind of scenario. Pardon me. Alright, a lot of blood fonts here. I wonder, do I keep the cup? Oh, there's a new cup. Is there an eyeball I gotta blind? Who have I got to blind to steal this thing? Okay. So, take some punch. Yes. This place was built for access only to wings or those who have a curious desire to be couriers. Actually don't know if I wanted to do that, but here we are. Gobble. Okay. Where is my return point? I think it looks like it's over here, maybe? Or was that a skeleton? That was a skeleton. Classic skeleton move. So it looks like I need to break down some of these barriers with different Reavers. And I need to find where in here those Reavers are located. Yeah, well, I mean, Raviel, yeah, Raviel. That's, I was gonna say ravenous, Raziel ravenously, something, but then it came out as Raviel, and I think that a fun tie-in in a world where this game had a different level of popular appeal would be Chef Boyardee's Cheese and Ravielli, and that's a joke that requires 2 steps to even exist. So I don't know how marketable that truly is. Oh, thank you, Iceman Dan. Yeah, oh no, that Saddler fight was a lot of fun. I actually really like the art on this door. It's a very penetrating gaze. I wonder if that is a stylized version of Janice Aldrin's face. And yeah, Iceman Dan, that fight was that fight was something. Oh, beards. I was almost unsure as to whether or not I was going to be able to beat it that night, but I did, and it's actually kind of got me inspired to maybe pick up Killer 7 for the weekday slots. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's another game that's got that kind of feeling for me. No! I could have done that better. There's another game that has a similar thing. And I think that it is one of the reasons why this little thing right here, well, it didn't do it right there, but little mechanics that are like a ledge grab, you know, because maybe the distance is just a little bit farther than is comfortable, but the ledge grab lets you get away with it. Ah, yes, I need your sword. I need your shield, please. Oh, I bet this opens up this door. Is that what happens? Wait. I need this. I would too. I haven't played Killer 7 in a long time. I'm supposed to be updated. Aw. The gaze is gone. Always only looking at me in my heart. Nuts to it. Kick a can. Oh. There we go. But yeah, I suppose in the spirit of keeping up with the times, it would be appropriate to do the HD remaster. But I've got these GameCube versions burning a hole in my pocket, and I do want to go over those. Yeah, but still, a GameCube controller feels so good. Like the whole, like, I don't know, there's something very special. There's something even more special about the whole tutorial premise of press A to run, and the A is like the largest button on your controller. It's like, well, of course I would press A to run. What else am I gonna do with that button? Let's see, dunk. Oh, weird. I'm actually a little surprised that they don't do, excuse me, something a little more, fictionally embedded, with the disappearing cup. I'm surprised there's not like a story or like a universe reason for it. If anything, because it would give us an excellent opportunity for another Raziel monologue. Oh man, what does this remind me of? There's almost like a Silent Hill quality to it, of like that sort of gore and viscera burbling up and creating a structure out of it. Yeah, green is go. That's exactly it. Oh. That could work. Dunk, thank you. Oh yes, Grayling went on an extremely generous sub-donation spree earlier this month, and you were one of the lucky recipients. So again, even on this end of that, thank you, Grayling. Is that? Oh, you know what? I can just shoot those things from here and save myself the heartache of getting to that ledge and not being able to do anything. Oh, but let's, Oh yeah, I did notice that, thanks to everybody's, subs, I have been able to unlock the Tiers 2 and 3, emote, options. So I'm going to, this next week, I'm going to ponder and figure out what should go there. Whoop, nope. Okay. Alright. There we go. Oh wait, I probably have to I gotta get them both at once. I bet I have to shoot that from up there, because it's not going through both of them. Is that the one with Sean Bean in it as the dad who shows up for like 2 scenes? Like, I thought that he was going to be Harry Mason for a second, and then realized it was a mother-daughter dynamic rather than father-daughter. Oh yeah, the big skin ripoff, and then throwing the flayed body at the door. Ugh. Yeah, the only part of that movie that I had any kind of quarrel with, and this can't really be taken as an appropriate quarrel for a horror movie because, you know, my favorite character died is probably speaks more to the horror movie's boldness than than a flaw. Whoops! Got shot from the sky. I just wish Sybil hadn't died. Wish Sybil hadn't died. That was my only gripe. It's like, man, she got so far. She deserved to make it out. Oh, ooh, felt that in my gut. No, I have not seen the sequel. I think I've shut that part out of my memories, Moogle. But that does seem like a very Silent Hill way to end. Wait, Dahlia died? I thought that Dahlia was kind of like the silent, not silent, but the secret protagonist of that movie. Oh, wow. No, well, it's been, oh, okay, gotta go downstairs and get the blood. Okay, well, yeah, clearly it's been a while since I've seen it, since Dahlia dying seems like a pretty big plot point, given her, you know, role in anything appropriately Silent Hill. What is... Oh, there's another eye up there. Okay. I think Mortal Kombat being super corny, I think that absolutely works in its favor. Oh, so gross. This is one of the things that I appreciate now about Mortal Kombat, having seen having binged a lot of Bruce Lee movies, is I can appreciate how the sort of whole tournament structure of Mortal Kombat and the way that it's executed really borrows a lot from what is it? Enter the Dragon? Yeah, Enter the Dragon. And what does that get me? That gets me nothing. And so I kind of see the original Mortal Kombat as this kind of not send up or pastiche, but clearly leaning very hard on the martial arts island tournament feel. And so the movie itself kind of feels to me like let's take this and get out of here before that eye comes back. The movie feels like a weird, you know, multi-dimensional supernatural version of the same, and I dig it for that reason. Ah, yes. Oh, hello. Oh, hold on. Come on. License revoked? License revoked? Yeah, license revoked. Come on. Say goodbye. Thank you. Yeah, right. Now, she and I have a relationship based on mutual affectionate inconveniencing of each other, whereby I will give her pets and she'll and then lean into it, and then I will be sleeping, and she will jump up and poke me on the face, and I will wake up grumpy, and then lean into it. It's like, aw. You think I'm a big cat and that I can just do this any time. That's why you're poking me in the face. So with that context in mind, it's less of like, oh god, why are you such a monster, and more, aw, you just want to hang out, and you have no concept of budgeting time other than your own. Oh, I never saw Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That would actually be a fun series to binge. As a project to catch up on things pop culture-y. The dynamic between them is actually quite good. Sometimes he decides he wants to throw down, so he will go over to her and more or less sit on her and then start grooming her. And she fights back about that, gets really grumpy, and then they nap. And that's about it. That's about as far as that animosity goes. Beyond that, she will stalk him, and while he is sleeping, do her sort of like circle around, hide behind cover 2 or 3 times, and then get hunker down, tail up, hunker, step, sniff, and then leave. It's like, well, she got the thrill of the chase out of that moment, and that's about it. But yeah, other than that, they're they're buddies. MK Annihilation and Spawn sound like a fantastic double feature. Alright, there's... Wait, this is back to the start? No. Okay. Okay. I see. What do I need to do here? Okay. Excuse me. Need to go down 1 more level. Get the Wind Reaver. And activate my, need to go down 1 level, get the Wind Reaver, activate this next wind tunnel thing. This one right here. There's the Wind Reaver, cool. And then get the Light Reaver, go up there, break down those barriers, and then I can carry the Blood Cup around. They do, and a lot of that has to do with, excuse me, life experience and level of emotional security, and age. Samson is about 6 years old. I think actually probably 7 now. He was about 6.5 when we got him. So yeah, he is well into his adult cat years, and she would have just turned 1.5 years a week ago. She was about 6 months when I got her, and so she's still got some sort of remnant kitten energy, and the only life she has known has been between the shelter and here, and he has had at least 1 other owner in another house, and I think was probably based off of some of his reactions to things like a door being opened. I think he used to be an indoor-outdoor cat, and is now exclusively indoor. Gotcha. So I suspect... Okay. Well, you gotta figure his body is made up on the spot every time he incarnates. I'm not sure exactly how the I'm not exactly sure how the clan shawl that covers his you know, his lost bottom half of his face. Not quite sure how that rematerializes, but I'm pretty sure the rest of his body is like he, you know, uses the dirt as material in some sort of spectral 3D printer and just reconstitutes himself each time. I kind of figure he probably has the density of like a sand marble. I don't know if anybody played with marbles, but sand marbles were very light ones and made exactly out of what you would think. Anyway, that's the that's kind of how I envision him, and being able to float. Is that the Wind Reaver? That is the Wind Reaver. Being able to float makes a kind of sense to me. At least when I let my tactile imagination have a say. I can see that, yeah. No, I'm kind of laughing at the image of Raziel coasting around on the Deku leaf. Yeah, that's good. Whoop. Yes, this is what I need. Minecart. Dustin, I'm actually really interested to know what your experience with the minecart is. That was less nail-biting for me when I played through than I thought it would be. Excuse me. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, now I need the light reefer again. Bunk. Oh. Oh, man. Sort of thing I sympathy feel that momentum in my gut whenever he lands. There is not fall damage. No, you are a footloose and fancy-free 3D platforming protagonist in this. I mean, honestly, I'm not even sure Raziel appropriately feels pain anymore in his current state. Okay. Now, let's get this blood and cart it around. Going further back in the in video game like secondary media history, the Mortal Kombat 90s soundtrack is also very much worth jumping into. I non-ironically listen to it semi-regularly to get my spirits up if I'm tired or whatnot. It's pretty good, pretty jumping good time, I think. Yes. What? Do I need to rotate something so I can... How do we get over there? That actually seems... Huh. Is that the name of one of the artists, Viper? Maybe I need to kill a dude to... Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I need to do. I gotta go back to the spectral realm. Raziel's soul-eating posture is very cool. I like that. I like the idea of his shawl being some sort of obstacle preventing this. You know, if he didn't have his shawl, that he would just be siphoning in souls without any kind of control. Thanks for coming out, Ark. It's great to see you. I have got some stuff coming up over the next week, which is actually going to take me offline for streaming for about 2 sessions. And I hope to be back on Wednesday of the second week of March. So, which will actually put me very close to exactly 1 year of streaming twice weekly without breaks. Yeah, it's not because I need to take a break from streaming or anything. I've just got some stuff that's going to take me away from it. But yeah, I'm gonna, if I don't finish Soul Reaver 2 tonight, which I don't think I will be picking it up in 2 weeks on Saturday, and then I'm gonna start Killer 7 on Wednesday, not this one, but the one following. So, yeah. So yeah, if you show up and there's like nobody here, it's not because you missed anything, it's because I am indisposed at the time. Oh, all the way to the ground. Oh man, okay. You might also, I mean, could also be a good opportunity to play it in the meanwhile, and then rewatch it hang out. I can never encourage anybody to play Killer 7 enough, unless I know they have sensibilities otherwise, but I think you'll dig it. Oh, I get that. I get it. Time is precious indeed. Have a great night, Ark. It's good to see you out. Okay, let's try this again. Grab the ledge. All right. Queen of the Damned. I don't know that one either. Unfortunately, as far as movie lore goes, excuse me, I am pretty short on a lot of it, but I have a running list of things to watch in case my current project runs dry. For the past, I want to say since June of last year, I've been on a kick to just watch a bunch of samurai movies, and once I got pretty well hooked into that, spread out to Yakuza movies, and have just recently used that as a branching point to get into some French film from the 60s, which is kind of like noir stuff, which is where the sort of Yakuza film connection comes into, that sort of crime noir detective individual stuck between competing factions kind of storyline goes into. The one I watched this week was Les Samurai by what's his name? Melville, I think. A French director, Melville. It's 1967, and it's a lot of fun. If maybe slower than one might expect for a crime assassin drama. Yeah, they are. They are. I've been very fortunate in that the Pacific Northwest, Seattle area has Scarecrow Video, whose glory I have evangelized many times on this stream, and which I will do so at any moment, because they have kept me in steady supply of things that have been kind of hard to find otherwise. I think there's oh man, there's a production of King Lear. What is the guy's name? He's an English director. I think it was a 1971 adaptation of King Lear, and it is very hard to find. Very hard to find. I was only able to find it through Scarecrow Video on a PAL Region DVD, and in order to watch it, I had to also rent a PAL Region or a Universal Region free DVD player. And it was absolutely worth all the trouble to get access to it because it's exquisite. It does one of the very few things that it does something that I have not seen done elsewhere in Shakespeare, but in the infinite number of Shakespeare, adaptations or performances, I'm sure has been done elsewhere. But, Hamlet and these historical plays are often sort of like very romantically staged with, the tapestries and pageantry and that sort of thing of nobility, rather than the fact that many of these plays were set in a time where wealth was gauged by how many cows you owned, and oftentimes in a very somewhat barren place. And it absolutely does that. It shows how all these high noble ranks, that it is entirely contextual what constitutes a noble, because if you live in a wasteland scree of like winter, like running through constantly, and your and wealth is counted in terms of cowhides, then you're going to have a very different kind of character to that drama than with crowns and castles and things like that, like maybe like a Kenneth Branagh version. Yeah, it does take a little bit of time, but I think we're at the end of it, and I'm sorry for the false alarm, Hamlet. Howell wasn't so bad. I was actually very surprised to find that I could, in fact, change the region of my PlayStation 3 to PAL, which would actually turn that into a DVD, a compatible DVD player. The only downside to it is I think you can only change region on your system something like 6 times before it becomes locked into whatever the final choice was. So, you can't just kind of whiplash it back and forth. If I had an extra PlayStation 3, I would absolutely lock it to PAL territory so I could use it for that. But alas, I have the one, and that one is NTSC US with all my games. Story?
Janos Audrin?
It is heartening after all these years to hear my name spoken without contempt.
Raziel?
My child, what have they done to you?
I have been dragged through hell and back. All it seems to reach this moment. But I don't yet know why.
For thousands of years I have waited, alone here, losing faith. At the time of the binding, 9 guardians were called to serve the pillars, and I was summoned as the 10th guardian, the keeper of the Reaver, the weapon of our salvation. Over time, our race died out, until I alone remained, sustained only by my obligation to you and by my guardianship of the blade.
And the other 9? Why did their guardianship not sustain them?
I don't know. As our race dwindled, the humans prospered. I have watched over the centuries as our history faded into myth and finally receded altogether. The humans have forgotten us entirely and claimed the pillars for themselves, wholly ignorant of their true purpose. To them, I am merely a devil, the origin of their vampire plague.
Why would the pillars summon human guardians then, if they are meant to be served by vampires?
The pillars choose their guardians from birth, Raziel, and vampires are no longer born. This is the crux of our dilemma.
Oh, weird.
And this is the terrible irony. With their vampire purge, the members of the Circle have assaulted the very architects of the pillars they are sworn to protect. They have embarked on a treacherous path. With every vampire they kill, the humans are slitting their own throats. They know I'm up here, beyond their reach, and it terrifies them. You can see how they flaunt their kills to torment me, or perhaps simply to lure me out. They have this foolish notion that destroying me will somehow topple our entire bloodline. Thankfully, we're not that fragile.
I've seen them mustering their forces in the village below.
Yes. I don't know what they're plotting, but I fear our time may be bitterly short.
Mankind seems to have brought you only torment and grief. You must hate them.
They fear what they don't understand, and they despise what they fear. But no, I do not hate them.
Vorador does.
He has suffered much. He cannot forgive them.
Should they be forgiven?
They don't understand what they're doing. They are simply unenlightened and vulnerable to manipulation.
So, it's all true then. What Kain and Vorador have told me. I really am some kind of unholy vampire messiah.
Unholy? No. Messiah, perhaps.
I don't like that word. It smells of martyrdom.
Raziel, your role in this world's destiny is more crucial and more benevolent than you've allowed yourself to believe. Your journey will not be easy. Dark powers are allied against you. But I think you already know this. You appear to have been cruelly tested. The binding must be secured, Raziel. The pillars are the lock.
And the Reaver is the key.
Yes.
The Reaver is here. Why do I feel nothing?
The most formidable weapon ever forged by our swordsmiths.
Reavers everywhere.
They infused the blade with vampiric energy, empowering the Reaver to drain our enemies of their precious lifeblood.
As Janos presented the blade, an inexplicable sense of dread crept over me, more palpable than anything I'd felt before. I was at once horribly repelled by the sword, and yet irresistibly compelled to touch it, to take it up. Please, take it away from me.
Oh no!
I fear you have been followed.
Oh, this is a bad time.
You must save yourself, Raziel. Janos! No!
Wait, what? Raziel imprisoned in a Dreamcast.
My surroundings whirled sickeningly, and I found myself transported safely away from the ambush to an adjacent chamber. Janos had delivered me from the Sarafan, selflessly forfeiting his own safety to preserve my life. And now I feared that my newfound mentor would be slaughtered by the very crusaders I had so recently revered. The irony pierced me, and with dawning horror, I realized that I had been duped by Mobius from the beginning. For the Sarafan had simply followed the path I gullibly blazed through this sanctuary, and had arrived bearing Mobius' staff.
Oh
Thus
no!
armed, they had Janos at their mercy. Through the door, I could hear them battling, less than a dozen paces away. But it may as well have been 1,000 miles, for this barrier was sealed by elemental forces I did not possess. It seemed Janos had conveyed me into the heart of the Fire Shrine. I
Oh,
thought
Fire
perhaps
Shrine. Okay, this is our
could
last
galvanize
elemental.
the forge
Cool.
And imbue the Reaver in time, I might have a slim chance of saving Janos from his grisly fate.
Oh no. Janos' survival depends upon a timely solution of a puzzle in Soul Reaver 2. The vampire's dead. This is not going to end well for him. And, so yes, now that we're at a kind of a pause in there, hello, Bone King TV, Bone King TV Raid. It's good to see y'all. Yeah, you happen to wander in the middle of a cutscene, and I am just, like, glued to the screen whenever anybody has a conversation in this game. I love it. I'm sure these are all very important hints I'm being showed by the camera that I'm forgetting instantly by talking and catching up with chat. Evening Rocks, it's good to meet, good to see you again. Okay, hold on. Back it up here. Yes, Captain Planet does take pollution down to 0. He uses his plucky team of ragtag superheroes to do so. I myself have never been called an unholy vampire messiah, and I consider myself lesser for it. I feel that if I had lived my life differently, nay, better, then I would be able to say otherwise. But yeah, I hope we haven't lost any of our Bone King TV friends from the lack of an instant greeting. I'm just riveted by this game. Oh no! Okay, yes. Is this? Do I? What? Oh man. Classic vampire blood koi pond. And yes, thank you, Rox. Yeah, no spoilers. I am. Do I infuse here? I do not. I am remembering this as I go. Okay, so I have a torch. And one of the things that, as I mentioned, is somewhat dreadful for Janos Audron's fate is I have a tendency to make some fairly daft choices when it comes to puzzle solutions. Whoop! And can miss things that are right in front of my nose. So I fear that he has put his faith in a gamer. I was very surprised to learn how far back Blade goes. I did a comic binge of the Tomb of Dracula series by Marvel Comics, and Blade shows up in more than one issue as a guest vampire hunter alongside Van Helsing and the Harkers. Oh no, it's down there. Oh man, did I? Okay, do I need to? I probably need to drop the blood level again. Though how? And yes, Dreambomb, that is the sad reality. And actually, what is this still somehow burning? Oh, wild. Yeah, no, I mean, I joked before about Kain's esteem of Raziel as the only one with free will. Oh, maybe I can poke this here. Being somewhat stymied by the fact that he is bumbling around and failing all these puzzles constantly because I am, missing simple interactions. But in this case, this is an instance where Janos Audron's fate depends upon that very thing being true in canon. Oh. Blood Pond Rising. Oh, excellent. Let's, turn. Yes. Yeah, I do too. Janos Audrin is like the one person who's spoken to Raziel like you might actually care about him. Kain's conversations are all in the direction of, I respect you and absolutely need you as a scion of my will, and yet I am also willing to forego my own will for the sake of you discovering your own, because I'm a weird kind of paternal figure. Yeah, that notwithstanding, Raziel finally found the one person who treats him good, and he's dead. Or at least I assume will be. Oh. Yeah, Moogle, this game series, despite being as big of a Metal Gear fan as I am, this game series' VO work went a very long way toward kind of showing me what exactly how awesome that could look and feel in a game, and it is one of my favorites for that. And I also think that they knew exactly how awesome their vocal talent was, because there are some making of documentaries that are attached to the disc, which actually would be kind of fun to look at before I go offline tonight. That shows that they know exactly how good they have it with their talent. Okay. Yes. Good. Oh yeah, we can do this. Yes. Bonk. Just like the volume of blood that is just in the wings, hanging out, waiting to spill through these mouths for the sake of progression, is considerable. Okay. Maybe I don't need to do this. Oh, weird. The torch also just fizzles. Just disappears too. Fizzles isn't the right verb for this context. Oh, let's just swim over here. Yeah, I'm guessing this is just forward-thinking engineering. It is a lot less practical to get a lot of blood at once, and more practical to get little bits of blood over a longer period of time. And then you have your blood mechanism. Oh, that's probably the Fire Reaver. One thing that I would be interested to see, I don't know if the save points, or how the save points are sort of woven into the story here. Oh, cool. Is that a statue of Raziel? Looks like it. Yeah, it's got his Ashley Riot ant antenna bangs going on there. Do I need... Oh. Okay. So something back here still needs to be done to complete this. Yeah, no, there were definite concrete practical engineering questions that had to be answered, Grayling, in order for this to become a reality. So I guess what's happening here is that the blood is being siphoned back up? I mean, it still looks like it's flowing out, but... oh! Okay, no. So the drain at the bottom opens, and these things remain vigilant and continue spilling blood so that when the drains close, it can fill back up easily. So yeah, they just have a ton of blood. I mean, it's entirely possible that that it cycles through, right? Like there's not just like this infinite reservoir of blood that's filling out here, and there's like a chamber down there, kind of goes back up at the top. It's kind of how I'm thinking about this. Or a lot of donors. Okay. So it looks like I need to put the Wind Reaver in that thing there. So, excuse me. This would mean I need to drop the level, go down, windify my Reaver, and then swim up there to do that. Is there a... Is this a fire thing? This is a font, isn't it? Yeah, that's a font. Oh no! That's Rough Rocks. Yeah, we haven't gone into the lore of exactly how the vampires keep their stock fresh, but that seems. I mean, given how surface level evil they are willing to be, and then justify it as a necessity, would put it past them. Oh no! Where is it? Is it gone now? Something that is interesting about how the vampire's relationship to humans sort of changes in this is this what I need? Alright, I gotta reset this blood thing. They start out with the typical sort of, cattle relationship of, humans being cattle to vampires, which you kind of see in like the Castlevania series and stuff. But now they've sort of changed to something slightly different, even though they still do require humans as a feeding source. There's this almost weirdly paternal relationship they have. I didn't mean to fall down there. Yeah, yeah, you know, it's just like, you know, like you learn at the pool when you're swimming. It's, yeah, the blood stings your eyes for the first couple of seconds when you open it underwater, but then if you just kind of get used to it, it becomes surprisingly see-through. Nope, don't do that. All right. Alternatively, maybe I need to put fire on whatever that is, and that is not a wind elemental thing, because I'm actually thinking that the wind elemental thing that I used to change the Reaver's gone now. And my task is to drain the pool enough so that these pipes are evident, and I can then carry a torch across the way. So if I'm charting a path, go around there, back to the center. Excuse me. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad that it turned out that way for you as well. One of the things that actually, Dustin, which platform are you playing RE4 on? I'm curious. Whoop. Please respawn. Thank you. All right, let's give this a shot. Give me fire. Come on. Give me fire. No, wrong way! So close! Ah! Okay. Alright. That gives me confidence I can do that. PS4 is, I kind of, and I don't think I'm alone in this, I own many more copies of Resident Evil 4 than I have any right to, given the amount of time that I've spent on any one of them, outside of the GameCube and the Wii versions. That is one that I bought on the notion that, you know what, I was careless, on the notion that, you know what, it'll be fun to get trophies on this game that I've played so much, and I'm sure it can breeze right through. It turns out it is not quite the breeze through that I thought it was, and I have yet to actually make that investment make sense. Oh, nice. I actually thought that the chainsaw guys were sturdier than that. That's pretty cool. I'm used to them having exceptional poise. Okay. Get some height here. Come on over. No, camera. Camera be good. Dunk. Yes! Yeah, no, no! No! Oh, so close! Like, do I need to get on top of it? This is where it gets a little bewildering for me because I'm not sure. Like, I have a plan in my head that I think can succeed in the game's mechanics. I'm not 100% sure that what I have in mind is what I'm supposed to do, so I could actually spend a lot of time trying to do something that, you know, I can achieve my goal, but that's not actually what the game wants to progress. Oop. See, yeah, that's my question, is how possible is that really? But, I mean, given everything that I've done so far, lighting something with a torch and using these jets to get up there, that's the game plan. Nope. And I somehow lost my torch. Okay. Oh man, Space Hamlet, I'm excited for you on that. I wish I had an oven pizza. Yeah, no, we're in malarkey territory here. I think that what I need to do must be different than what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna step back here and actually give me like 2 minutes for a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright, the solution came to me. I'm pretty sure I know how to do this. And what needs to be done? Oh, I agree, no olives. I can't really abide the mushrooms. These things are I'm just gonna be honest with you, this challenges me emotionally, but I'm a mature adult and I can handle this on stream. No, these are garnishings that many love, and that I am a little too picky to enjoy. No, 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 no! Come on, come on, come on! Yes. Alright, this is it. But this is it. Yes! Oh yeah, love me a good rune. That's like 3. What's this? Big Daddy rune. Yeah, I actually don't think the other elemental temples gave me this much fanfare. Ba-boom. Statue Reaver's on fire.
I plunged the Reaver into that furnace and forged the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Janos from his executioners.
I think the execution might be already underway, buddy. My pizza tastes are fairly simple and straightforward, and yeah, mushrooms taste like something dead. Olives. No. These all taste like things that are dead, but elementally so, not merely factually so. If that matters. Oh snap!
Look at his black heart. How it still beats.
Awkward.
The fiend intends to bury us alive. Raziel, we must get out of here. Remember the sword!
Oh man. Raziel's Seraphan self actually killed Janis Aran.
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
Yes, Viper.
I failed you. No, Razia. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply to save your life this once. While I have taken yours. Embrace your destiny, Razia. You must reclaim the Reaver. It was forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
As I backed away from Janos's body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing so deep I could barely contain it. In that instant, I rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, the task for which I was uniquely prepared. I would pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress and avenge Janos Ordrin's murder. Mobius would pay dearly for his treachery, and my Sarafan brethren would reap the horrors they had sown. I would retake the stolen Reaver, which was rightfully mine. And finally, when all these debts had been paid, I would reclaim Janos Ordrin's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose was clear to me. I would restore the heart to Janos, and thus undo the vile crime committed by my abominable former self.
As far as time travel conceits go, going back in time to kill your jackass self, and also having that be part of your grand plan to move forward as an entity and not in the least concerned about how that's going to affect you, is cream of the crop. That's good stuff right there. Yeah, Viper. No, that's very much an Ike moment. Hey, that's me. No. Janice Aldrin has definitely used Eternity to keep up with his looks. I was noticing like the shoulders and triceps, and I'm like, wow, he works out in solitude. I mean, especially compare that to Raziel's. Well, poor Raziel. Demons? Here?
We've been expecting you, little Raziel.
So, these demonic pests were not merely the product of Nosgoth's corrupted future, for here they were, hurtling back over 5 centuries to pursue me. These creatures, I suspected, were minions of the unseen forces that had hoped to control me. This was the tangible expression of their displeasure. These demons were unleashed as the penalty for my disobedience.
Cool. That's a great twist. No, I actually don't. I am enjoying this every step of the way. As far as stories where there are twists and stuff are concerned, I actually don't make too much of an effort to try to guess or solve them through. I like to just enjoy the surprises that unfold. So I turn off the I understand that like for like detective stories and stuff like that, part of the pleasure for a lot of people is trying to figure it out and get the clues. But I just kind of go dumb and enjoy it as it comes.
Do you really think you can say Nosgoth? Let me enlighten you, poor Raziel.
more? Oh, there we go. This is great. I love that they can't block it. Like, it really makes the Reaver feel like a special weapon, rather than just, you know, a sword you can't lose. Oh yeah, I'm gonna play Defiance after this. I am, especially as we've gotten into Soul Reaver 2, I'm remembering more and more how much I love these games as a trilogy.
There he is, the savior of Nosgoth.
How are you guys all on the same side? Alright, we gotta save my game. Take a number. Yeah, I'm going to, after I beat Soul Reaver 2, I'm going to put Defiance on the Saturday night slot. There we go. Come on, guys, fight. Okay, so the skulls, the creatures that have the skulls and the spiny trail bits are somehow unique from humans. Yeah, the humans are softer and or cuddly. Hello? Ah. Gotcha. Alright, looks like there's one more left to kill. Oh, nifty. Which would put you, I'm guessing, kind of EU time zones? Is that right, Rox? Human, I really feel like if you're going to bond with somebody over a common enemy, this is not the right choice. Oh. There we go. Oh, cool. Well, welcome to the stream from there. There we go. Figured that was going to pop up here. And yes, that unlocks the path forward. That is further east in the EU than I have been myself. The furthest east I've been, I think, is Austria. There we go. I don't know if I wanted to trade up for the sword, but okay. Okay. You guys kind of... Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, no, if I had the opportunity to make it back there, I would love to see Austria again. I lived for many years. I lived in Bavaria, so Austria was for me as well. just literally a walk from home. All right, we're healed up. Thank you for the snacks, guys. Yeah, it is a swim away for me now as well, though through somewhat more circuitous routes, I think, than you, Moogle.
Guard me, brothers!
God, I love that sound effect on the Fire Reaver. That's a big guy.
Closer, Razia.
Oh, for a fella that big, that was a little underwhelming. Is this? Yeah, that's right. I have not been to Vienna myself. Most of my experience in Austria was related to skiing, I recall. Okay. Well, now that I'm out here, what can a Wraith do with a Fire Reaver in this town? Is that something on the ground? No, that's a frog! Okay, I'm probably going back to the, I'm going back to the Seraphan stronghold so I can get the Reaver back. It's gonna knock on wood and save this. Oh god, it's gonna stab me in the back as soon as I'm done. It's really interesting that when Raziel goes into save, their AI just gets confused. Is it this way? It is not. Okay. cannot imagine that I'm going back to the time device. Yes, okay, here's the big door. No, you're right. I think, honestly, I think being able to save in reality would offer them a very different take on the kinds of immortality that they're trying to combat. Does his posture change? Hey, stop that. Ah. Dude, I was trying to lock onto him, but getting no such luck. But oh, cool. This doesn't, the one Christmas present I would ask from Soul Reaver 2 would be to snap to enemies a little more quickly when I'm attacking them when locked on. There we go. But that's interesting. It looks like this is subtle, and I didn't notice this before. But based off of how his stance changed when I was firing projectiles at him, it looks like he actually does have a sort of bloodied or critical health state stance. And that's interesting. Oh, there we go. I'm actually kind of glad that that sort of save stating doesn't exist in real life. I think that I enjoy high risk, high reward, and I feel like the option to use it would be far too tempting, or at least far more tempting than I think would result in my actual happiness, as opposed to my safety and security. Well, sir. Yeah, like different stats when he's weak. Or maybe just that he's kind of slumped and showing that he's on the ropes. Oh yes, this is the way, right? We just basically keep going down. Pardon me. That? Surely there can't be like a fifth elemental. Okay, good. I was just too far away for the activation to show up. Ah, it's so satisfying once you get one kill and the next one is just instantaneous. Well, it has been a rough year, and I can't blame anybody for wanting to to reset. back to where things were less chaotic. So there's fire. I can jump there? Can I jump there? Yes. Okay, cool. Does Raziel still have his... Yes, okay, cool. His little... Prevent me from walking off the edge. Tiptoe! Okay. One thing on the controller front that I keep messing up on is you have to hit the jump button again once Raziel starts falling. That's the only time you can really activate the wings. I keep hitting the jump button right before he's at the top of his arc, anticipating that he will go through the wing, snap out animation as he crests and begins to descend. And that is not the case for how the game actually controls. Oh wow, Mobius doesn't have any grip over the Nosgoth pillars at this time zone. Got international times on my brain. This time period.
You have failed me, Raziel.
I wonder, Old One. Did you truly resurrect me, or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Kain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
That's interesting. The fact that he says a humiliating sequence of deaths and resurrections. Like, it's always made sense that that the way that they incorporate the death and new life gameplay elements into the story of this game has always been very cool, because Raziel doesn't really die; he just fails that particular bodily form and then reincarnates. But for him to have an emotional response to that is actually pretty cool, and for him to have an emotional response to that in a way that is not kind of fourth wall breaking, Metal Gear-y, where he's talking about the player, is actually more interesting to me right now than the fourth wall breaking stuff, because there are enough games that do that well. But for Raziel to comment on that process and that cycle is very interesting. I also like how it's good environmental storytelling that the elder god down there is not merely lower on the pole, literally, around the pillars, but only has one eye. And yet he also seems to have the same level of awareness and presence, suggesting that his strength and his knowledge are not actually connected to the size and expanse of his physical form, but that is just in some way an expression of his presence in this reality, which the whole this reality slant is becoming more and more plausible as the whole demonic invasion storyline becomes more central. Yeah, Greatling. I remember that. About Assassin's Creed that being being how it handled its death and rebirth explanation. Is this, no, it is not. Though I am not up to date on its current status, in terms of lore-wise or how it is handling that. Not a problem, Rocks. So wait, is Ariel's... Oh, whoa! I haven't been to the pillars before they've been corrupted like this before. Well, briefly, when I ran into Kain here.
He thinks he can change his destiny. What a fool.
Come on. Oh, we can do this. Oh, so close. Well. Feed me, Seymour. Good. There we go. Nope. Haha. Gotcha. Cool. So in this scenario, it looks like humans are being used. Humans' tendency toward fanaticism is being used to get them to marshal against the vampires, and the demons are orchestrating this in some way. That is a Fire Reaver thing, but I'm gonna hold off on that for now. Excuse me. I think there's a Fire Reaver font right by the castle, which is where I'm going. So that's just as well. Or maybe the smart money is on just accessing the castle through the giant crystal. Guys, no stun locking. Okay, is this... Yes. Guard me, brothers. Swipe. Can it open against the ice? Or do I need to push it open now? Oh, I bet I need to thaw the ice first. Can I hit it here? Oh, that is also light, so I'm trying to decide if it's opening a little more each time. But I don't think so. I think it's just stuck on the ice. Okay, so fire seems to me could melt that. I think there's fire over here. Yeah, definitely not someone to rely on in a pinch. Especially since, I mean, technically they were kind of absorbed by my spirit Reaver, so I don't know how much that absolves them, but it's the context. Okay. Nope. Okay, maybe that is less what I need to do than I thought it would be. Is there a crack in the ice anywhere? Or can I jump up here? Is that something I'm allowed to do? It is not. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought that, thank you for pointing that out. I thought that that was another spot where you get the light elemental, because I put the light elemental in there and it came out light. So, but no, yes, that is very clearly a different object entirely. So thank you for pointing that out. There we go. No, come on. No, I want to throw you in the water. Yes. Nobody can swim. Wait, what? Where did you go? There you are. Cool. I am very sure I'm about to fight some demons through here. So I would like to get my health up a little bit.
Over there. Get him.
Just gonna kind of put myself in Raziel's headspace here. I am definitely not just running past these enemies to get to the next plot point. I am absolutely acting as Raziel would by being impatient to exert justice on Janice Aldrin.
Free your soul.
Is this the right way? Oh, here we go. Yes, this is the right way.
Suddenly and inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion, the peculiar sense of displacement I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me. I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
So, Raziel, here we are, finally. You have no choice but to confront me now, and I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Sarafan to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave. He poses a danger to the Circle. Poor, deluded Raziel. Did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change history on me? I'm the Time Streamer. I knew your every intention before you did, you imbecile.
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within. The Circle is under attack.
Fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
You toxic creature. Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose? Corrupting everything you encounter.
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Mobius. But it's a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Raziel. Now, Malik. Bolt the door.
Using his staff to disable my Wraith Blade, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
Oh, nifty.
Come to take your revenge, demon.
Back to hell with you!
I recognize these two as my former brethren, in life as Sarafan, and in unlife as Kain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephyr,
Oh, cool.
the weakest of Kain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
Oh, wow, I can't die. That's cool. Besides supporting the light, besides supporting the moment, it just totally makes sense that it's not even explained. That's cool. Raziel's got kind of a fun backward walk. Let's see if I can do this. It's cute. Sorry, I'm using that walk to kind of drain the moment. Oh, cool. It's absorbing the blood. And I'm glad I'm invincible too, because I'm not doing Sod. Stop. Okay. Projectile, I cannot. How much blood have you got? Come on. Finally. Stab.
As Melchiah and Zephon fell before my blade, I felt the Reaver's bloodthirst as keenly as I ever had when I was still a vampire. I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me. My physical energy no longer decayed over time, and the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
Oh, that's fantastic. I've got a pretty strong feeling we're cruising toward the end here. Give me just 1 second for a quick break, and I'll be right back. Yes, time traveling to 5 minutes into the future. Alright, that's the way I came in. This is... Every time I come through this courtyard, I get confused about where I came in and where I need to go.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
You'll have to get through us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Kain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Kain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
Oh, that's so good. Oh my god, stop with the poking! Alright, so... let me move. The true way to victory is to run and poke. In all their years of training to fight vampires, this was the one technique they were not prepared for. The one gambit that completely defeats their art. Oh wait, did his soul just go up?
The Reaver exerted some mysterious power over me. It sustained my energy, enabling me to prolong my physical manifestation indefinitely. In fact, bonded to the blade as I was, I could no longer shift into the spirit realm at will. Nor was I able to summon the Reaver's twin, for my Wraith Blade had been disabled in the confrontation with Mobius.
So, just for context on what happened there, I hit select, and it probably it was explaining why I can't like shift into you know, the Nether Realm, and yeah, and so it gave that monologue. Probably would have disabled that, so it didn't kind of ruin that moment with the Seraphan kind of standing around scratching his head. But yeah, that was neat. I like the fact that they explained that. There we go. Oh, it played the sound effect of a soul escaping, but it didn't. But it didn't give me food. Big cheese.
Get back to the pit you crawled from, demon.
And here at last was my brother Tyrell.
Okay, this is Tyrell.
Who, along with Duma, would bear me into the abyss without questioning Kain's command. So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Tyrell had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Tyrell would not.
How do I dodge? Why am I this late in the game? I don't know how to do this. Okay. And you like poke poke? Here's poke poke. You gotta be close. There we go. Actually, I wonder what it does if you try to go to the cistern. Oh, weird. It actually gives you a kind of a groaning sound to decline. And the stained glass is not does not have the decorations. Raziel's going to be facing off with himself pretty soon. Go.
So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordrin turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
Seems the one thing that Raziel forgot how to do when he became a vampire and then a revenant was to block, because old Raziel's showing pretty good ability in that regard. Yes.
I renounce you. And so it ends. My history comes full circle. Sensing its twin, the Wraithblade uncoiled itself from me, and instead wound lovingly around its former self. I felt its grip loosen, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me, and a terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness. With all other foes exhausted, the conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me. This is why the blade was destroyed when Kain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul.
Huh.
The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny. To play out this purgatorial cycle for all eternity. I could not bear it. Despair overwhelmed me. You. Are you enjoying this, Kain? Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it. Was this your destiny for me all along? Trust me. I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant, the glimmer of temporal distortion Kain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Kain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Kain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying as history labored to reshuffle itself around this monumental obstruction. And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden. We walked right into their trap. Raziel, Janos must stay dead.
But Kain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver, the Wraithblade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
Huh. That's pretty awesome, and it also gets into, it's a little twistier for me to be able to kind of process on my feet, especially when I'm trying to entertain this little critter. Yeah, so it sounds like the kind of Kain's rhyming action, his version of Raziel's refusal to kill him was the refusal to let Raziel be absorbed into the Soul Reaver. So by forcing Raziel to remain separate from the blade itself, this altered history in ways that are to be explored and explained, hopefully, in Legacy of Kain Defiance. So yeah, let's see. What time is it here? 11:50. Let's see what the bonus materials look like real fast before calling it a night. Oh, no, the credits first. Always the credits. Oh, Amy Hennig does such good work. Gremlin here who's attention starved. Hasn't seen me for 2 whole hours. You mean in Blood Omen 2? Is that the one you're thinking about? Yeah, I never played that one. I actually have a friend who's going to loan it to me shortly, but that will be a later game stream. I want to do Defiance immediately after this one for the Saturday night block. So where's Crystal Dynamics? I have in my brain that Crystal Dynamics is a Vancouver or Toronto-based studio, but thinking about it, I feel like that might be kind of wrong. Oops. Come on, kiddo. Thanks, Viper. Yeah, no, the ending, in terms of like story build-up and climax, the ending was great. I was very satisfied with that. It did a cliffhanger. It did the cliffhanger very well by wrapping up all the ties that had been at work during the game. So the questions that have been open in my mind are now closed, and that feels very satisfying. But it introduces a couple of extra curveballs at the end, which it then leaves open as grounds for exploring during the the sequel, and that's like a great way to end on a cliffhanger, so that you have new questions that you want answered rather than feeling the old ones go stale. Yeah, Michael Bell. Thanks, Rox. It's great to see you, and yeah, in a couple of weeks I'm going to start Defiance, so I hope to see you out then. Oh, that was Rene Auberjonois. I can never pronounce his last name, but he was Odo on Star Trek. I remember that. I wonder how many times he has to say "not that Billy Mitchell." Mr. House, really? I didn't know that. Nope, come here. trying to tell what some of the backgrounds that I'm seeing here are. Oh my god, that is so heartbreaking because it's true about Crunch. And strangely appropriate to transition from the physical to the nether realm at the moment of acknowledging the Crunch. Yeah, I kind of want to say especially back then because that's really setting the I mean, that sets the pattern that we're all trying to break. So, okay. Left, right, triangle, down, 0x. Left, triangle, right, triangle, down, 0x. Oh, cool. This is fantastic. Unfortunately, I do not have time to dive into this tonight, but I think that if there is an interim stream, I will definitely make this a priority. Actually, this would be really good stinger material for future streams. But I'm really glad that we were able to wrap up Soul Reaver 2 on this one. And yeah, no, this is great. I really want to share this with folks because this was one of the things that sort of gave a look into the development of a game, like a AAA game on this scale back then, that was very rare, and I don't think I've ever seen outside of something like Document in Metal Gear Solid 2. This sort of documentary footage is extremely valuable, and I love that they made that part of the actual product. So, but yeah, thanks, Moogle. It's great meeting you. I hope you come out again. If you follow, you'll get the notification. I send out a message every time it goes live. Everybody, all the regulars, thank you for coming out, and everybody from the raid, thank you for coming out as well. I hope to see you in a couple of weeks, and yeah, so not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday I'm able to stream following will be Killer 7, and then the Saturday slot will be filled with Legacy of Kain Defiance. So, everybody have a great night. Oh. Yes, raid was surprising. It's great. Bone King came out for a Silent Hill stream a while back and continues to pop in with raids every now and again. It's always a pleasure to see him. So, have a great night.